In a dusty building on Grand River Avenue in Detroit, the last Kmart in Michigan quietly closed its doors. No crowds, no headlines, just silence. A quiet end to what was once a retail empire that ruled America. But rewind the clock, and Kmart wasn't just big, it was unstoppable. In the 1960s and 70s, it opened stores faster than McDonald's flipped burgers. For a while, it was the future of shopping. The man behind it all, Sebastian Kresge, a former traveling salesman with a knack for penny pinching and a dream to make low prices glamorous. In 1899, he opened a five-and-dime store in Detroit. Kresge's stores were simple, no frills, no nonsense, but they offered something revolutionary, quality goods at fixed low prices. It was a radical idea at the time, and it caught on like wildfire. By the 1920s, the SS Kresge Company had hundreds of locations. Shoppers flooded in, drawn by the promise of affordability. Kresge's model helped shape the American middle class and the way we shop today. Then, in 1962, something big happened. The company tried something new, a discount department store, bigger and bolder than anything before. They called it Kmart, and it exploded onto the scene. Opening day? Pure chaos. Shoppers lined up before dawn, hoping to snag deals on everything from socks to garden hoses. It was suburban consumerism at its peak, and Kmart was its cathedral. In just a few years, Kmart became a household name. By the 1980s, it had over 2,000 stores. It was the second largest retailer in America, just behind Sears. But that was about to change, because lurking in the wings were two unlikely challengers: Walmart, a scrappy southern chain, and Target with its stylish flair. Both had ideas that would reshape retail and leave Kmart gasping for air. Walmart focused on logistics. It built massive distribution centers, optimized supply chains, and squeezed every penny. Target went upscale, appealing to younger, trendier shoppers. Kmart? Well, Kmart didn't seem to know. Its systems were outdated. Inventory tracking was a mess. Stores were often disorganized. And while Walmart and Target were evolving, Kmart was stuck in the past, still riding the wave of its former success. They tried to keep up. Remember the blue light specials? A flashing light would announce sudden in-store deals? It was quirky, it was fun, but it wasn't enough. Gimmicks couldn't save a sinking ship. In the 1990s, financial problems piled up. Profits fell, debt mounted, and leadership changes became frequent. In 2002, Kmart filed for bankruptcy. It was the biggest U.S. retailer to do so at the time. But wait, there was a twist. Out of the ashes rose a man named Edward Lampert, a hedge fund wizard. He had a bold plan: merge Kmart with another struggling icon, Sears. In 2005, the deal was done. Kmart and Sears became one. Lampert promised a retail revolution built on data, real estate, and online shopping. Wall Street was intrigued. Main Street, not so much. Because while Lampert focused on spreadsheets, stores began to crumble. Leaky ceilings, broken shelves, fading signs. It was a retail apocalypse in slow motion. Shoppers left. Employees lost morale. Walmart surged ahead with everyday low prices. Target wooed millennials with designer collabs. Amazon was on the rise. Kmart? It became a punchline, a place you only went if everything else was closed. Online reviews told the story. Looks like it hasn't been touched since 1987. No staff, no stock, no reason to go. For a brand once built on pride, it was a brutal fall. Lampert doubled down. He split off profitable assets, real estate, brands like Craftsman and Kenmore. Investors profited, stores suffered. Some critics called it corporate looting. Lampert called it strategy. In 2018, the inevitable happened again. Sears Holdings, the parent company of Kmart and Sears, filed for bankruptcy. Lampert, still clinging to control, bought back the pieces in a last-ditch effort to save it. But the damage was done. By 2020, only a handful of Kmart stores remained. The once mighty chain that had employed hundreds of thousands was now a ghost brand, barely clinging to life. It's strange to think that this was once the company that helped build America's shopping culture, that gave kids their first bikes, parents their first microwaves, and communities a place to gather. For many, Kmart was more than a store. It was part of life. Saturday trips with grandparents, back-to-school shopping, layaway plans. It had soul, even if it didn't always have polish. So what went wrong? The answer isn't simple. It's a mix of mismanagement, missed opportunities, and a failure to evolve. In business, nostalgia is nice, but it won't keep the lights on. Today, there are only a handful of Kmarts left in the world. They're relics, frozen in time. Walking through one feels like stepping into a museum dedicated to retail's past. Ironically, some of Kmart's biggest ideas, discount pricing, suburban expansion, big box layouts, are still alive, just not under the Kmart name. Walmart and Target perfected the formula. Kmart invented it, but couldn't adapt. And maybe there's a lesson in that. That innovation isn't a one-time thing. That great companies don't just lead, they learn, they change, they grow. Kmart stopped doing all three. Still, Kmart's story isn't just about failure. It's about ambition. About a man who believed low prices could change the world. About decades of success that shaped how Americans shop. And hey, if you've made it this far, you clearly love a good business story. So hit that subscribe button before Kmart's last aisle light flickers out. You don't want to miss what's next, because every rise has a fall, and every fall has a lesson. For Kmart, the lesson is sobering. Even giants can fade if they forget what made them great in the first place. In the end, Kmart wasn't killed by one thing. It was a slow erosion, of vision, of leadership, of relevance. 1,000 little missteps that led to one massive collapse. The people who worked there, who gave their best, who smiled at the register and stocked the shelves, they deserved better. And so did the shoppers who stayed loyal until the very end. Kmart's story is now a cautionary tale in business schools, a case study in how not to compete in a changing world. But it's also a reminder of how quickly fortunes can change. It's easy to forget that Kmart once took on the world and won for a time. Then the world changed, and Kmart didn't. That's how legends fade, not with a bang, but a whimper. So the next time you pass a boarded-up store with a faded red K, remember, that building once buzzed with life. It had dreams, it had hope, it had shoppers. And while the lights may be off now, the legacy lingers in every big box store, in every holiday sale, in every special deal today only. Kmart helped write the book on modern retail. It's easy to mourn what's gone, harder to learn from it. In the end, Kmart's rise and fall is a story about America itself, optimistic, ambitious, flawed, and always changing. So here's to the blue lights, the bargain bins, and the plastic bags with the red logo. Here's to what was and what could have been. Here's to Kmart, once mighty, now memory. And maybe, just maybe, that memory will inspire the next great idea. Because in business, as in life, every ending is just the start of something new.